Hello, this is Fred, your friendly neighborhood realtor here in Orlando, Florida. Today I'm going to talk to you about some of the insider tips for buying a home. Now, everybody knows the basic things of you want to make sure that you save up for the down payment and everything, but not everybody, there are some aspects of some things that not everybody thinks about, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Make sure also on those basic things, don't forget checking your credit before you're actually looking to purchase your home. Now, one of the things before we get into the 8 things or the 8 tips I'm going to say is you're going to need to make sure that you get yourself a good buyer's agent, real estate agent. In this day and time of buyer agency, it is important for you to have that because that person is going to work for you. They're there to make sure that you get the best deal possible for you. Now, we will work with persons as a buyer's agent. I've worked as a buyer's agent in the past, and I don't have a problem with that. Keep in mind, if they're not working as a buyer's agent, then most likely they're working for the seller. So you're not necessarily going to get the best deal there. But that's for a discussion that I'll be glad to have with anybody later on. And we'll talk about our contact information at the end of the video. But for now, let's talk about the 8 insider tips for buying a home. Number 1, check out the neighborhood. Unless you solely look at the property and make a decision by looking online, but if you do a house visit, a home visit, then I would recommend that at different times than when you take a look at it. If you look at it on a Friday afternoon, you may want to go back Saturday morning or even during the week some before you make that offer. Unless it's a really hot market, now that's going to be a different process. But take a look at it at different times of the day so that you kind of see what the neighborhood, the activity of the neighborhood, and what's it doing, what's it look like, what's it feel like, what do the neighbors look like and everything, so that you kind of know, is this where you're going to be comfortable? Now, checking out the neighborhood also means, all right, hey look, on one of those work days, make sure that you leave your current place that you're living, come to where you're looking to buy this home, do your commute from there to wherever your workplace is, so that you get a feel for how your commute's going to be for all the years that you own this home. Now, while you're at it, make sure you look to see those things that are nearby. Be it the gym, if you enjoy working out, grocery store, because we all need food, your schools, because even if you're like I am, my wife and I, our daughter's already moved out. So it's just us. So, but knowing the schools is important because that's going to help your resale value later on. You want to make sure you're in a good school district and they're good schools. Also, check out your restaurants and your entertainment in the area so that you know this is where you're going to want to be and you can get to those things easy enough. Number 2, think about the bidding process, because that's what you're doing. When you find a home and you make an offer, you're going to bid, unless you come through and you say you're going to get to a full price offer. You're more likely than not if you're going to try to see if you can't get some money off of that home. What I encourage people to do is to look at the price per square foot of those homes that have already sold. So you kind of get a rough idea of where your home should be in line as far as for pricing. So taking that information, you don't want to come in with a bid that's too low because you're going to have to work for that seller. Or work with that seller rather, excuse me. Because keep in mind, that seller's looking to maximize their dollars and you're looking to get the best for your dollar. So y'all two, with the help of your agent, is gonna have to work together Because if you come in with an offer too low and you don't have the seller thinking that you're really interested in buying that home, then they very may well give you a counter of saying we'll refuse to counter, or they may just come down just a little bit just to say, okay, look, we'll talk with you, but you've got to come up with a lot more. So think about that and put it in perspective of what the market is doing as well. So if you need to, you can, obviously that price per square foot, you can raise it up a little bit if you need to, if it's a hot market. If it's not, then you're gonna need to consider that. Those are things that your agent can once again help you with. Now, number 3, I say have a mechanic look under the hood. In the world of real estate, that just basically means you're having somebody, a home inspector, look under from your roof down. Because your home inspector will come in and they'll look to see is there defects, is there problems, are there issues. Some may be that the seller can easily fix. Some may give you negotiation room. And there may be some things that you just say, look, this is not going to be the home that we thought it was going to be. There's too much other stuff going on. So it may give you an out on there. Number 4, don't date the home. Use your instincts, use your gut. If you look into this home and because the thing of it is you want to look into that home and you want to say, this is where I want to be in 6 months, couple of years, 6 years, however long you want to be in that home. You may want to raise a family there if you're just starting out. And you want to make sure that that home's going to be right, but you've got to have your gut more than just your emotions, because your emotions could sit there and say, oh, I love this home, I love this about it, this about it, this about it. But are you going to love that 6 months from now? Or are you going to love that 3 years from now? So make sure you look at it, because this is also a big investment that you've got to look at. And that's the thing, this is an investment. In addition to your home, it's an investment. Number 5, look out for hidden costs. In addition to, you have your closing costs. If you don't put 20% down on some mortgage programs, FHA, conventional, then you're going to potentially have mortgage insurance. A lot of newer subdivisions have HOA fees, homeowners association fees. Then there's also going to be repair costs. You move in 6 months down the road, your AC breaks. Somebody's going to have to come in and fix it. Or actually, when I bought my first condo, I remember looking around and actually seeing that half the air conditioners had been replaced. And of course, mine was one that had not been. Roughly about a year later, in the summertime, my air conditioner died. So of course I had to replace it. But that's cost. And in this day and time, with your higher SEER ratings, your air conditioning can be quite expensive. So don't forget repair costs. You're going to need to have those, and you want to be in your home comfortably. Number 6, you don't have to be the biggest or best on the block. Now I'm going to simplify this in the sense that, and I've seen this in some places, you'll have nothing but 1-story homes. And then all of a sudden you'll see this nice big 2-story home, and it's a big elaborate home and everything else. Unfortunately, it doesn't really go with the neighborhood. So when appreciation occurs, it's not necessarily going to appreciate the same rate as the other homes. And furthermore, it's going to take a certain buyer willing to be in that neighborhood, in that home, when you do go to sell it later on. Now, that's not to say that there are people that they will look at the home and they will say, you know, you explain to them, because I've done this, I've had this happen. You explain to them that this is the situation. This is a lot bigger than the homes in the neighborhood, and this is a lot more. So this is going to be your consequences down the road. And they may still say it's fine. And that's good. Because as the agent, you've done your job as well, but you know, they're still going to be happy, and that's the most important part. You want the buyer to be happy long term. Number 7, don't try to time the market. If you think back to a number of years ago when interest rates were really low, and there were people that kind of sat on the fence a little bit, and unfortunately the interest rates started going up. Now, I know of somebody who had bought a home, and it was in a different city, but then they took a job here in the Orlando area, and when they did their mortgage, they found that the home and basically the mortgage was for the same amount of money, because they'd taken money from that other home to put into this home, and of course they were able to get a nicer home, but it cost them twice as much because the interest rates went up. So in addition to that, one of the problems is the aspect of it could price you out of the market. And I know with interest rates higher right now, it has priced some people out of the market, or they can't get the home they would really like. And you really don't want that to happen. Then number 8, and our final one, it's a simple one really, but you don't want border disputes. So I encourage you to make sure that you make sure a survey is done. If you're buying a home, single family home, so that you know where the borders are. You know where your property line is. So that you don't find that, hey, that neighbor, his fence is actually 3 feet into your property. Over time, that could almost mean that that 3 feet becomes his and you lose property. And also keep in mind that your taxes are based on your land and the improvements upon it. So you want to make sure what your sizes are and everything. So I would encourage you to make sure that you get a survey done. Now, as we talked about buyer's agency these days, we do work as buyer's agents. We'll be glad to work with you and help you find that home. We have some good mortgage people as well that can help you find the program and tell you what you can afford so that we can get you into that home that you're going to be happy with for years to come. If you're looking to sell here in the Orlando area, then we will do what's referred to as a comparative market analysis for you for free. And what that will do is that's going to let you know approximately how much you can get for your home and how long it should take. Because you want to make sure you price it right in order to get that best dollar. Now, if you're buying or selling, our contact information is in the description below. And while you're down there, we'd appreciate a like as well as a subscribe and the bell notification, so as we're producing new videos, you can also be notified. Thank you and have a good day.